Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking time out to attend today's webinar, Wood Innovation, What's New, What's Next in the Door Industry. My name is Nirmala Thomas, and I'm the Director Market Development at FI India. The webinar today will be approximately for 1 hour in duration. Before we begin with the session, just allow me a few seconds to introduce Canadian Wood to you. Canadian Wood, also known as FI India, is the crown agency of the Government of British Columbia in Canada. We are a non-profit organization with a mandate to educate and promote use of BC forest products in the offshore markets of India. British Columbia is recognized as a global leader in sustainable forest management. Canadian Wood has been actively promoting wood as a sustainable raw material in various applications in India through its 5 legally sourced species, namely spruce pine fir, what we also call as SPF, Western hemlock, Douglas fir, yellow cedar, and Western red cedar. Today's topic, doors. Basically, doors and windows play a very significant role in the aesthetics, design, and energy performance of any building, be it institutional, commercial, or residential. In the door segment, wood is still a very popular material, especially in the traditional and luxury markets. Homeowners, building owners today are becoming experimental while choosing doors. It not only plays a huge part in ensuring security, privacy, but also an important aspect in enhancing aesthetics of space. Demand for fire and safety doors too has seen an increase in multifold, with new regulations coming into play with new constructions. Even though the market of India has been affected by the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, but still there are some places or cities in India that have shown quick rebound due to renovations and expansion of spaces. Without taking much of your time, I would like now to hand over the session to Peter Bradfield, Technical Advisor, Canadian Wood, and the moderator for the session today, to formally introduce our guest speakers for the day and take this webinar ahead. One last point. Please address your questions in the Q&A panel so that we can address them to the panelists. Just after the sessions are over, there will be a Q&A session. Over to you, Peter.
Well, thank you, Nirmala. Welcome, everybody. It's a rainy day in Mumbai today. I hope the weather's better where you are. Well, we are in for a treat today with our speakers coming to us from across the country. All of them visionaries and enablers of their own respective dreams and business goals. Our first speaker today, someone I know personally, is the very warm Krishna Murthy, founder and director of eDoor Solutions, Hyderabad. An entrepreneur at heart, Krishna Murthy founded the company in 1996 with the idea of manufacturing high-quality solid wood frames and door shutters, and differentiating his products through a laser focus on quality control, excellent service, and above all, an ethical approach in his business. An innate understanding of changing trends, continuous investment in research, and an urge to innovate brought eDoor into the orbit of Canadian Wood, and vice versa. In fact, eDoor is working on developing a line of engineered door frames using Canadian Wood in addition to their regular products. Needless to say, Krishna Murthy has been instrumental in developing the solid wood door frame business by grabbing hold of impressive business opportunities, and under his leadership, eDoor Solutions has developed an excellent distribution network across South India while positioning itself as a prominent brand. A technocrat with great business acumen and, as I said, warm professionalism define his identity. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce R Krishna Murthy. Go ahead, Krishna.
Thank you, Peter, for your nice words. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Krishna Murthy, Director, eDoor Solutions, Hyderabad. Before starting, I would like to take a moment to appreciate this opportunity we all have got. A chat room full of amazing individuals for whom a door means more than just a piece of wood. Whether or not the masses agree, I strongly believe doors can change the world for better. And I thank Canadian Wood, Peter and his team for making an event that brought people who think the same way together. Am I audible, Peter?
You are. Yes, we can
Yeah.
hear you.
Okay. And I thank Canadian Wood, Peter and his team for making this event that brought people who think the same way together. I hope we share, learn, teach, and grow together. So at Edwin Solutions, with more than 30 years of experience in the door industry, our founder, managing director, Mr. Chandrasekhar, started the journey of manufacturing conventional doors and frames and flush shutters. With the help of ambitious and professional and production team, we are producing various types of shutters to finished door sets which can withstand all climatic conditions. We cater to the needs of all types of customers, ranging from small homeowners to residential and commercial projects, hospitals, educational institutions, etc. Inspired by our beloved Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi ji's Atmanirbhar program, we strongly believe that many of us are making India self-reliant, producing world-class doors, thus saving foreign currency flowing out. And we are also part of Prime Minister Awas Yojana program. We have contributed some doors to the local governments here in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. And our products and services have been appreciated by many clients on a national front, like L&T, Shapurji, NCC, and other players in the regional Sattva Group from Bangalore, Vertex, Gaura, Honor, Prime, Alembic, Praneeth, and many others locally. So we have started using these Canadian wood for the last 3 years, and we have done a project with the High Court of Andhra Pradesh in Amravati. Here, our contractor is L&T, and we have used door frames with yellow cedar, and all the doors, it's matching veneer we did at the High Court. And also in Bangalore, there is a big project on an electronic city highway. It's a Sattva Group, and the project name is Cadenza. There also we got an opportunity to work with yellow cedar. That again, the frames we did with the yellow cedar, and the veneer or matching veneer, whatever according to their requirements, we did. And locally in Hyderabad, we have used these yellow cedar door frames at Saket Pranamam in Hyderabad. It is a little bit wider in width. We did actually, they really appreciated the quality and the finish. So like that, we have did some other projects like Vertex. Here, we have used other timber like teak, and there is one Cyber City, Marina Skies in Hyderabad. Again, we have used some engineered red Meranti here. So various types of timber we are using. And coming to the opportunities with the Canadian timber, like like an alternative to teak and red Meranti. It surely fulfill the requirements, making and frames and doors with the desired quality and finish. As Nirmala said, that people are looking for some uniqueness and experimenting some high quality timber. So we are using this Canadian timber in the niche segment. And if we want to penetrate into the market, we need to really bring down some cost so that the mid-range customers also benefit from this one. As you are aware, the Canadian timber is processed easily with design, shape, and sizes. Durability, see, wood is generally employed unless it ensures long lastingness. Canadian timber can certainly last with good maintenance for a long time. And insulation, yeah, in fact, it's not only Canadian wood, in fact, any other wood add the warmth in the it can take the insulation, which is why its insulating abilities are well known. So in our factory, we started doing our manufacturing door sets using yellow cedar and Douglas fir. And we have supplied this for small house owners here in Hyderabad, especially the solid wooden doors, which we want to take it in a big way, where we can do it in numbers. So we are in talks with certain project people. So they are in touch, and they need to yet to finalize, at least for the entry doors. They're looking either for Douglas fir or the yellow cedar door set. As these woods are, we are using it because it is very friendly, like carpentry friendly and polish friendly. And also, as I said, we are developing finger jointed, edge glued, laminated these frames and panel door shutters. We have brought a container of Western hemlock to do the same. So we are in the process of making these hemlock boards with the finger jointing and edge gluing. So as you all aware that finger jointing is the process of cutting teeth or fingers into each and small blocks and gluing blocks together. So applying glue and tightly pressing in a press, and then leaving it for 48 to 72 hours under warm temperature. The cute panels then go to the sanding station to be sanded off, glue lines, and get the desired thickness. So what's next? So lately, what we are seeing is the trend, or the Indian market, the upcoming game changer in the Indian door market will be oversized entry doors. These floor to ceiling doors are popular among architects and interior designers. These are available in a variety of styles and aesthetics. As a result, in order to compete, wooden door manufacturers are focusing on durability. These doors can be 1.5 meters wide and 3 meters tall. Because the Canadian timber is available in all sizes and sections, we can aim for larger and wider doors. We can think of any like a tall door using these yellow cedar, Douglas fir, and all other Canadian timber. And also the sliding door market, or also known as barn door, is increasing by 10% every year. So according to the market research, these are very space saving and doesn't occupy much space, and it will allow you to position all the furniture in the room, and it is very easy. And about the doors material and appearance, wood barn doors are more for a natural and rustic appeal, but when painted white, they may also function in modern environment. And we have tried this one by using yellow cedar. So increasing consumer spending on construction and renovation of commercial and residential buildings will drive Indian doors market growth. Booming demand for energy efficient and impact resistant housing infrastructure will lead industry towards more innovative product materials. We can see there is a demand for UPVC and WPC doors also. Wood is more energy efficient due to being naturally warm when maintained properly. It has longer lifespan over UPVC. And these changes in the door industry using different raw materials like UPVC has drawn the attention of wooden door manufacturers. We appreciate the efforts taken by the RTS people who are catering to the needs of the niche segment by providing window and door systems using the timber. So, based on the market research, now you see here there are different types of doors: swinging, sliding, folding, and all other doors. So this has been like the research is taken a survey in 2017, and based on door type, the interior door market is classified into panel doors, bifold doors, and others doors. The panel door segment dominated the interior door market in 2017 and is expected to maintain this trend in the near future. See here about the material. Based on the material, the market categorized into wood, metal, UPVC, etc.
So sorry, Mr. Krishnamurthy, just have 1 minute more if you don't mind. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not taking much of your time, so I'm finishing. So yeah, as you see, there is enough potential until 2025. You can see the research what it shows. The graph is higher, so we have got plenty of opportunity in using the wood. The wood segment is accounted for the highest market share in this segment. So finally, our vision to be preferred supplier chosen by our customers, and our mission to exceed the customer expectations by anticipating customer needs through total commitment and involvement of our employees and suppliers, and the goals to conduct ourselves in ethical manner by treating customers, suppliers, and staff with respect and integrity, to nurture a dynamic culture enabling us to continually improve quality, productivity, and service, to deliver the correct product on time, to maintain an above average quality in our door and frame manufacturing facility. And I thank you once again for giving me this an opportunity. Thanks to you, Peter.
Thank you, Mr. Krishnamurthy.
Thank you, Krishna.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Krishna, very much. I've taken a few notes during your presentation. Firstly, a big congratulations on your projects to date. They're very large projects, and particularly interested in the ones using Canadian wood. It's really lovely to see the expansion of that business in the Canadian wood side. Sorry, I'm getting a message here.
Peter, your video is not on.
Yeah, I can't switch it on now. It's not, you're not allowing me.
Yeah, it's on now. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
So as I said, yeah, congratulations on the projects, and it's great to see the expansion into Canadian wood. Very lovely products, the doors you're making. Also really interesting to see the move into the finger jointed edge glued, otherwise known as engineered sector. I mean, that's going to provide a lot of versatility, and of course, it'll certainly help with where you see the future in terms of products. So in terms of oversized entry doors, sliding doors, you need that versatility, and I think the engineered way is going to work well using Canadian wood, at least in part. So thanks again. I think we're moving now from Hyderabad to the north. Our second speaker today is Jitendra Goyal, founder and managing director of Dormak, based in Jaipur. As per the old adage, the doors of opportunity are always open for people who have the vision. I think this was true for Jitendra Goyal, a visionary who saw an opportunity beyond the closed minds of people who told him that entrepreneurs do not make doors. So those people must be eating their words, Jitendra. And I quote you actually, and you say, while many laughed at my vision, I knew there was a lacuna in the market. I believe that every person is sentimental about his home, and a home's main door is what makes the first impression. So naturally, every owner would want the very best door to suit his home and to suit his personal preference and his budget. That belief pushed me to pursue my dream, and Dormak was born. So clearly, Jitendra saw an immense opportunity in providing value-added premium doors to customers, and established his Dormak brand in 2008 with full confidence that his conviction would prove right. Starting with a team of 10 people and installed production capacity for 3,000 doors per year in a rented place of only 1,500 square metres, the factory area grew 8-fold in just 3 years to become an ultra-modern manufacturing plant spread across 12,000 square metres, including a separate facility for PVC membrane doors. Very impressive achievement indeed. I'm sure there's no secret to Jitendra's success. It's the same recipe, a vision, hard work, and the ability to stay focused on quality and service without compromise, while expanding the reach of his brand across several states. So with that thought in mind, it's my privilege to introduce Jitendra Goyal. Over to you, Jitendra.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jitendra Goyal. I'm from Dormak Interio Private Limited, Jaipur. And we are in this industry since last 2008. We are making designer doors, various kind of veneer doors, designer frames. And we have done lots of large projects in India, mostly in NCR region, Rajasthan, Maharashtra region. And so I'm giving my thanks to the Canadian Wood Council for giving me this opportunity. Peter, your screen is coming on the screen. Okay. So for giving me this opportunity to present this presentation. And I really acknowledge them, the kind of efforts they are taking for the wood industry to elevate the level of wood industry and to make this kind of educational webinar so that people can get more knowledge about the wood. And there are lots of lots of myth about how to use the wood and what can be done with the wood and uses of wood. So these myths are getting resolved and people are getting more and more knowledge. So by this effort, by this webinar, our wood industry is going at the next level. It's elevating the industry. And I acknowledge you, all of you, who all are here. And at this afternoon, today is Monday afternoon, we all have lots of work to do, but still you are here. it shows your commitment towards the industry to take it to the next level and to learn more and more things about the industry. So really, I'll welcome you. Thank you for being here. I'll start the presentation.
Yeah, Jitendra, it's visible. Yes, please go ahead. Yeah.
I think it is some issue. Let me check just a minute.
No, you've gone to the fifth slide, I think.
Okay, now is it the first slide which is being shown to you now?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay, so I'll just keep it this way only. I think it has some issues. So here we are talking about the door industry, what is new and what is next. So in my presentation, what I have included, when I talk about the door industry, I have seen door industry never grow in isolation. When we talk about the door industry now, it grows with certain other industry, which is an adhesive industry, which is the joinery and hardware industry, which is the paint industry. So all has contributed in the door industry. So I'm also including those things, the input. I'll provide all the input and all the efforts provided by those industries in the growth of the door industry. So evolution of the door, wooden door and frame. If we'll see, door is being used, wooden doors and frames are being used since ages. But as time passes, the door has also evolved. And the door has evolved in the context of design. The kind of design being used earlier has been completely transformed now. We are using different kind of designs, very sober, very plain kind of designs now. The joining method has been changed. Earlier, the way we used to be joining the wood is no longer stands now. Now we are joining with different kind of machines, tensioning, mortising, and we are joining with doweling. So that has been changed. The major thing which has changed, which is new, is the thickness of the door and door frame. Earlier, doors were not that thick. It is around 31 mm to 38 mm thick, 1.25 inch to 1.25 to 1.5 inches. But now people start asking door of a 2-inch thickness. Like in the standard premium villas, none of the door is less than 45 mm. So thickness of the door has been increased, but at the same time, thickness of the frame has decreased. Earlier, when people are buying the frames from the sawmiller, then the section of 2.5 inch was available and 3 inch were available. So they were asking the frame in the way of 4x3, 4x2.5. But now when the joinery units and the manufacturing units came in the market and the knowledge came in the market, then people started realizing then there's no use of going for the wood of 2.5 inches and 3 inches. Even the same results can be achieved in 2 inch also. So even in our project, and to give it a better quality and to get a straight wood, and so we have shifted to 2-inch wood, and it has a really wide acceptability in the market. So it is a major change which has come in the thickness of the frame and door. Then the height of the door. Yeah, Mr. Krishna has also mentioned that earlier door used to be of 7 feet height, but now 8 feet height is very common. When we go to the Delhi NCR market and Mumbai market, 8 feet is common, but we are having orders of 10 feet and inquiries till 12 feet height also. So that's a new trend here. Then other thing is the acceptability of the softwood. Earlier, teak, marandi, sal was the major wood, which people were asking when they are talking about the wood. They were not talking about, they're not taking any white wood or softer wood, cedar, hemlock in the door industry. Hemlock being used in window industry, but not in the door industry. But now yellow cedar, all these softer wood has a wide acceptability in the door market. So it is a new thing in the market. So when we are talking about the new, as I told, now door is not a door. It has become an experience. When I'm selling a door, the person is not asking only about the door. They are coming, they are touching the door, they are opening the door 2 and 3 times and closing it. So there are lots of things which is coming in the door. So I have divided this new thing in the ease of doors, ease of use of the door, the finishes of the door which are available in the market, the textures of the door which are available, and the design development of the door, and the longevity and stability, which I'm covering here. So when I talk about the ease of door, so people see the door, but the how it opens, how it closes, that kind of things comes from the hardware industry. And hardware industry is really doing lots of effort to give a good experience when you use the door. So the lots of type of concealed hinges are available, concealed door closers are available, which are really very soft in closing, and people have a very good experience. And at the right bottom, you can see a damper. It has been introduced by one company. So once the door comes very close to the frame, this damper catches the door and it closes very softly. So the kind of experience which people are having in kitchen industry, if I'll share my experience, so the evolution of kitchen industry has come from the hardware. The kind of experience the hardware provided, the kitchen has evolved. So same kind of thing is happening due to the hardware and the various kind of technological locks which is introduced. So the wooden door industry is expanding due to this hardware. Next thing I will add here is the finishes of the door. So I really thankful the Canadian wood industry that after coming of the yellow cedar, giving the finishes in the door has become very easy for us. If you can see the image, which is at the right bottom and the top left and the top bottom, these all images are done on the yellow cedar wood. So there are lots of finishes. There are lots of paints are also available, in paints and polishes available from lacquer, melamine, PU, UV. At the same time, the whole industry have done various work in the finishes. So what water-based stainers are available now, two-tone stainers are available. You just apply the coat of the stainer and you will get a different kind of effect. So while getting these special finishes, we can give more and more finishes, and customers started liking the wooden doors, and now they are buying wooden frames. Now they are taking a exotic veneer doors and laminated door, and they are asking us to match that veneer with the frame. And now it's possible for us by having all these finishes. And the same thing is happening with the pigmented PU also. In the yellow cedar, it's very easy. The white door you are saying, it has been done on the yellow cedar. So we are getting a very good result of a pigmented PU on the yellow cedar, because yellow cedar, there's no pigmentation from the backside. There's no yellowness on the pigment. So it's really giving a good results. So this is the new development which has been done from the finisher in the wood industry. So wooden door industry going to the next level. The next thing is, like by our customer, are the textures in the door now. So it is again by the machinery, by the different kind of rollers and machinery manufacturer and pen manufacturer also. They have done textures machines also, and at the same time they have developed this kind of pens also, which gives a textures filling, and you can get a two-tone or different colors or some metallic colors in the texture. So this is also a new thing in the door market. Now people are asking us how wide will be the texture. It will be how open will be, 80%, 50%, 40% close grain, open grain, depth of the textures. So these are the new trends in the door market. So these are emerging because of the help of the other industries which they are really giving to us. Then we talk about the design development. So when we talk about the door, but how to install it and how to make it, all those design has also been changed. Earlier also I mentioned about the joining method. So now you can see dowel joint is very prominent. People are doing it by joining and doweling. It's a very strong joint. Now the next thing has changed, and which has really evolved our industry, is the fixing method of the door. Earlier we were doing the wet fixing of the door. There we are fixing the hold fast and then fixing the door. But now it's a dry method with the fastener and foam. So it has evolved the complete industry. Now door can be made at joinery and supplied at your site. So various kind of big projects can be taken by this transformation and this evolution in the industry. Now the third thing which I mentioned here is profile wrapping. So there are lots of limitation. There are people who want perfect match to their veneer, their laminate. So that was, we are achieving even 75 to 80%, but that is not perfect. So get the perfect finish, we started doing profile wrapping. Earlier it has been done on MDF, but all are not accepting that. So now we started using glue joining technology, and then we started wrapping the profiles. So you are getting like a super product, completely matched to frame, completely matched to door. So that is also possible while using this softwood and Canadian wood and SYP. So this is also the new development, and industry is really accepting well. Other thing is, which is new in the market, is longevity and stability of the door. So When we are making a door of a 7 feet height, it's very easier for us to do. But when the height grows, when the door become more and more taller, then we have to really engineer the wood. So then this laminated wood comes in picture. We are using the laminated wood to make the door of 10 feet and even 12 feet, and how to stable the frame. So for the getting that stability also, we are doing this lamination. And other challenge which come about when we are making a door at our plant and shifting it to a site, then we need a perfect straightness in the door. So the straightness comes from this kind of metal straightener, which we are fixing in our doors and frames, that our frames and doors are even straight up to the 1 mm. So these kind of things are available. These kind of things are available by the support of hardware fixtures industry. So they are really supporting us in getting this thing. And when we are adapting this technology and this method, then definitely we are catering more and more customer and solving demands and more clients. So this is what I have covered in the new. When I talk about what is next, so industry is really evolving. Lots of new demands are coming. So when it is to the next, then the first thing which comes in my mind is DIY. Our industry is going to be completely do-it-yourself kind of industry. When coming of this new method of installation and coming various hardware, the doors will be available in the supermarket even, and the installation method will become very easy. So it will be do it yourself. Anyone can install the door very easily. So this is the next thing which I can see. The next thing which I'm seeing widely is the joinery units. Even in India, there are less and less joinery units in comparison to UAE and US and UK. There, all the work is getting done in the joinery units, but still in India, work is getting done at sites. So this is the next, I feel, everything will be getting done at the joinery units and then supplied to sites. So this is next for me. Other thing, the future of the industry is the sustainability. People asking for the sustainable wood. Now they are thinking about the carbon emission. So they're talking about the deforestation. Earlier, these terms were not known to people, but after so much education, people have started asking about what is carbon emission, what is E1, E2 norms. So this thing is really good. So we can definitely tell them, yeah, this kind of adhesive we are using, this kind of wood we are using, and our wood and our doors comply at all these parameters. So this is something very good for the industry, which is happening now. Other thing we talk about the future, then I'll see the fusion. Future, I think belongs to the fusion technology. Now, door is not the door. Now people are asking, even architects friends are asking to fuse the various kind of metal in our doors. So we are fusing mild steel, MS, SS, copper, aluminum in our doors. And fusion is getting done at two places. One is for the aesthetic look and other is for the stability. There are various kind of complex projects. To get it done, just only we cannot done certain results just by the wood. Even we are doing lots of things in the wood, but still we need to infuse certain kind of metal in it and giving it strengthen it. So that is the fusion, which will be the future, I think. And the most thing I like about the door, if I'll talk about the future door, it will be a door very versatile. Earlier, what we used to be doing with the door is providing us the safety and privacy. So these are the two things we are doing the door. And since last 8 to 10 years, we are fire door is very much famous. People are asking for the fire door. So these are the basic three functions we are doing, and then the acoustical door. But now, one of my architect friend called me around 6 months back. He said, I have done a very good farmhouse and I need a ventilated door. The door should be of such kind, it gives you ventilation also, and at the same time, sound should not go out.
Sorry, Mr. Jitendra, you just have 1 more minute to
okay,
go.
Fine.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm completing. So then I realized there's a huge demand and of creativity. People are asking for such a product. So there's a demand of such a product, then door has to perform not only on one parameter, it has to perform on various parameters like fire, acoustical, ventilation. So lots of new technique and new things will come in the door industry. Next is the optimum utilization. So door industry, when we talk about door industry, then we are getting more support from the software and technology industry. By using the software and technology, we are using the optimum usage of our wood. Even machines are there that we can cut even the 3 mm and 2 mm slices of our wood. So that is the future of optimum utilization of the wood. And it has been given us by the adhesive industry also. Adhesive industry has done lots of things to provide a wider frame, that the joints which will not open, joints will remain straight. So it is optimum utilization is happening with the joinery industry and adhesive industry. And what is next? Next is the excitement to play with the wood and execute sustainable and complex projects. So I'm really excited to use the wood in coming future. So thank you for giving this opportunity. So keep using the wood and keep on creating new dimension in the wood industry. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Jitendra. Yeah.
Yes, well, thank you so much, Jitendra. I think the excitement really shone through in that presentation. So very interesting, and it was really great to see those beautiful finishes and textures and new designs. It must be, it's probably 3 or 4 years since I was at your plant, and I can see there must have been amazing progress just in that last 3 or 4 years. It's really exciting. It's really great to see that it's encouraging, to see Canadian species are being used, because of course, Canadian wood does accept stains and polish extremely well, so that's a big advantage. I loved your expression that the door is an experience. Including the hardware and the soft closing, it is an experience. And so, it's a great marketing angle, and it just goes to see how the emphasis is changing, as you mentioned. Also, I'm really happy to see this move into dry fixing. The wet fixing was always a big problem in my view, and it's great to see that move, and also into engineered frames and as you called it, fusion products. It's fascinating. So wonderful presentation. Thanks a lot. I'm sure we'll get some questions at the end of the session.
Thank you, Peter.
So moving on, we're going to complete the triangle. We're going to now move from the south to the north to the west. Edwin Saldana, widely known as Captain, in recognition of his past life as a master mariner, established the Doors and Doors System Manufacturing Facility in Versailles in 1997. Doors and Doors is a market leader in India today in its chosen field of windows, doors and fire door systems, using a range of materials, including wood. And I'm fascinated, I have to say, by the company's specialised expertise in bulletproof and blast-proof doors. Now, who could foresee a demand in India for such products? Clearly, Edwin. So during his 24 years in the building products business, Edwin has introduced several major European companies to India, thereby raising the bar in architectural hardware offerings to the window and door industry in particular. It's such an important part. One of those companies was the 147-year-old global leader in revolving doors and security entrance systems. That company was called Royal Bone Edom International. And since 2008, Edwin has been a major shareholder in that company's 100% owned subsidiary, Bone Edom India. As managing director of D&D and Bone Edom India, Edwin has been the driving force in establishing a truly unique range of products for the Indian market, supported by local production and dedicated service backup across the country. It's my pleasure to introduce our final speaker today, Captain Edwin Saldana. Over to you, Edwin.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. And once again, I thank Jitendra and Mr. Krishna Murthy for a lovely presentation. I think they were spot on with whatever Jitendra was mentioning about. And it makes our life easier to present to you what we're doing at Doors and Doors. So this is not a slide where this project is showing doors, but what we've done is windows. So having started the company with trading and contracting, we moved on to manufacturing. And now we are one of the best companies in India, producing large number of windows, different types of partitions, comfortable living products, ventilation, and fire doors. So September end, we will start our 25th year. And this is, of course, with the help of our team. We are pleased to sustain our offerings to many satisfied customers in India and across other parts of the world. A small brief about our factory. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this is achieved in the state-of-the-art manufacturing system in Oversized East in Mumbai. We have machines for aluminum, steel, UPVC, wood, and fabric welding. These are CNC machines with other German and Austrian brands, with several machines for woodworking finishing and a forklift for ease of doing business. These are some of the brands which we are working across the world, especially from Europe, from Germany, Belgium, Holland, and Switzerland. And most of these brands, we are exclusive partners. We also got licensed production. So we see we have very high-end windows, doors, interior system, ventilation, and exterior blinds. The main topic today is fire door. To my other panelists who have explained a lot about the woodwork in doors, I think we are doing something a little bit different and focusing only on fire doors. So the fire door, as the name suggests, should act as a barricade against smoke and fire. It should be designed and installed to protect life, assets, and property. In many fire accidents, smoke is the killer rather than the blaze of fire. Fire kills 3% every hour. It's very, very strange. Every 6 minutes, there is a reported fire emergency in India. How do you intend to protect your family, your loved ones, and your colleagues? Doors and Doors is into manufacturing iron fire doors with ProMat calcium silicate boards imported from Belgium and China. We are into passive fire protection, and this is the first part of fire safety in any sort of building. Against, the active, what you see, the sprinklers, the extinguishers, and the hoses. We are actually trying to prevent the fire and the smoke. Our job is to prevent spread of fire and easy escape, as the wood fire door gives insulation, stability, and integrity. The instrumentation fire seals helps us to seal and prevent the spread of smoke, which is a primary killer in a fire. We manufacture both single and double leaf fire rated doors for 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and 120 minutes. Fire rated doors are manufactured from red Meranti and other Canadian wood. The door frame and shutter can be supplied in bare or fitted with laminate or veneer, with all the processes which Mr. Jitendra was explaining in his previous slides. These are custom made up to a height of 3 meters and widths of up to 1.2 single and 2.4 double doors, with certification from a reputed institution in our country. So some of the images here you see, which are actually installed in Mumbai, which are large doors, heavy doors, and successfully handed over. What we see on the right-hand side is an image of a cross-section of a fire door, which has an internal frame, calcium silicate boards, rock wool, covering sheets, MDF or others, finishing sheets as required, that means veneer, laminate, and intumescent strip. The frame size depends on the requirement of 1 hour or 2 hours, with grooves for intumescent seals, single or double, as per the fire rating. This combination also gives a very good acoustic properties. Here you see a door which is tested after the fire test has happened. The door is moved out from the test rig, and you will still see, you can see the flames going on over there. So this is a door which is 3 meters high with 2.4 with vision panels, and it has passed more than 120 minutes. In this case, 140 minutes. This has passed for insulation, integrity, and stability, which is very, very important. After testing of the specimen, the doors are opened to see the contents compared with the declaration in the specification given prior to the test. What is observed after the test is recorded in the test certificate. This is very important because a lot of people will try to do a good test, and what is actually commercially sold is not the right thing. We at Doors and Doors have tested 11 different types of doors for 60 minutes and 120 minutes with vision panel and without vision panel for various sizes. Now, these are two images which are shown here, which again is on a test rig. One, the fire installed in a normal brick wall, which is a normal case, and in dry wall partition, which is gaining popularity. The reason to show this, we need to also see the stability of the structure and fire rating, especially in the dry wall, as both need to be withstand the fire. The other important aspect in fire rated hardware for the doors when testing and when commercially sold, this package should be the same as in the test certificates. The hinges for 2.7 and above up to 3 meters, which we have tested, are special stainless steel, We import the special made hinges from Germany, and this is the only company in the world which can deliver this requirement to satisfy the operation of these very heavy doors. The installation frame to the structure is done by Hilti anchors because these are very heavy. It cannot be done by the conventional methods what we were doing earlier. And of course, the lighter doors can be done with foam as well. And where the gaps are there between the structure with the frame has to be filled with fire sealant. Now, what are the benefits of a wooden door against a steel door? This is also something which is very important because steel as a commodity is much cheaper than a wooden fire door. Wooden fire door has a lot of processes. If you see, you saw the sandwich panel of the cross section of the door, where we actually put it together. We put a hot press, we screw it, so there's no delamination. And of course, these doors can last for a long time. There are numerous benefits we can get from a wooden fire door. First is the stability, insulation, and integrity. This primary property, one can touch the door even during a fire and avoid any second-degree burns while escaping through a passage which has fire on one side. This also prevents the spread of fire or any flammable material in the vicinity. The sealing of the shutter and frames with intermittent seals helps prevent the spread of smoke, which is the most important requirement in life safety. A wood fire door will char and not heat up, unlike a metal door. The wood will not buckle with fire, which can again lead to dangerous proportion in a fire situation. The long-lasting property of wood is much better than a rusting steel door. Finishing to your interiors is another factor with veneer, laminates, or any other special finish. This door also gives you very good acoustic properties when we have done some tests for acoustic with fire rating as well. Now, why did we choose Canadian wood? We had issues with the red Meranti wood, with the stability, the moisture content, which was pretty bad. And then we came across Canadian wood and found it suitable for the internal frames and exterior door frames. Namely, the wood used is Western hemlock and Douglas fir. We have a test certificate for 60 minutes fire door and frame with Douglas fir. And in the future, we want to test a door for 120 minutes. Our factory is normally occupied with fire-rated doors, but we, in special cases, use Canadian wood for other requirements, like you see this door here. There's another door which is shown here, which is used for 120-minute fire door with interior frame of Canadian wood and the decorative part made again with Canadian wood. We have our own finishing plant for doing the best finishing required to international standards. We can manufacture any type of frame, door, height, and thickness by using finger jointing technologies, like the images you saw from my other colleagues in this panel, which showed you the type of technology what is used for today, joining wood, lamination of wood, which is the need of the hour. Some of the jobs here we are done with Canadian wood. We have just shown some louver type, fixed and movable. And some, again, images you can see here, we have done a complete door of 60 minutes for export or a different client. Unfortunately, the pictures are not very good. But these are made with a complete Canadian wood, a door and frame, with very good veneer, very good finishing with PU paint, as you see. So what is the future we have with Canadian wood? We have already made some prototype windows, and we want to pursue the regular production of these windows, large windows, lift and slide casement windows, with our internal resources and our internal experience. We're also looking forward to a fire door for immediate use of Canadian wood, so it will make the door lighter and even more economical, and the commercial value should be lower. That's all what I have to produce. I have to tell you today about fire doors. It's a short presentation, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain. Thank you, Captain.
Yes, thank you, Edwin, very much for that presentation. Very interesting. Again, congratulations on your work in the fire testing of wood doors, including Douglas fir doors. It's a fascinating area, and you know, it demonstrates the versatility of wood in conjunction with, of course, hardware, very important elements such as hardware and intumescent strips.
Yes.
thank you too for testing of Canadian species. That's been really important. It's a great breakthrough for us. I found it particularly interesting, the comparison of wood versus steel doors in a fire, the performance and, you know, the benefits.
You have a speak, Bettina.
And I think I'll leave it there because we're going to now open the floor to questions. Well, not open so much as I'm going to ask the questions that we've seen show up on the Q&A panel. So there's been a number of questions which I'm going to kind of summarise a little bit. Some of them are technical and some are specific to individual companies. So I think we'll probably get to those individually. We probably won't get to them now in this forum. But one of the questions that I saw come up is to do with the structural stability. And maybe I can direct that question at Krishna Murthy. You know, someone's just looking for reassurance, I think, or people in general looking for reassurance in terms of the stability of timber doors and timber door frames. Can you add any, can you share any insights with us, Krishna?
Hi, Peter. Yeah. Regarding this, the structural stability of these taller doors, what we have used is like a engineered wood inside, and on the either side we have we did some like panel work on the either side of the door. Like maybe it's a engineered wood inside of 25 mm and half inch on either side wood. So in that way we did that one, and doing edge like clipping on that one. That way,
yeah, I think the question is very relevant, of course, when we talk about oversized doors. There's another question also regarding heavy doors. You know, can we use Canadian wood to hang, say, a 200 kilogram door? And maybe I can ask you that question also, before I make my comment.
I think like yellow cedar can withstand that kind of weight.
I agree, and you know, if you look at I was looking at some comparisons this morning in terms of screw holding, you know, and whereas traditionally in India we've used teak, you know, and teak's acceptable for screw holding in door jambs. Actually, Canadian species like Douglas fir and yellow cedar are very close in terms of screw holding to the hardwoods. It might mean we have to use a slightly different length of screw, or maybe a slightly different thread. I'm not an expert on the hardware, but certainly if you do that research and get into the design of the hardware, then yes, the softwood certainly can support a 200 kilogram door, and we can use yellow cedar and Douglas fir for that. That's my point of view, and I think you're saying the same thing.
Yeah, most of the weight will be on on the hardware. So,
okay, right.
The right
yeah.
hardware, if you choose the right
yeah.
hardware, and as you said, little longer screws can.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, I think what this is pointing out is or highlighting is. Let's move into that you're doing actually, and our other speakers, which Jitendra and Edwin also made clear, into engineered products. You know, finger jointed, edge glued, laminated products. This way, and it's not just a way of using up waste wood or lower cost wood. It's a way of increasing strength and stability, I think, and that sort of lends itself to these kinds of queries about structural integrity and about the weight of the door.
Yeah, that these, as rightly said, this edge finger jointed and edge laminated has got better mechanical properties when compared to the solid wood, Peter.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I agree. I direct this next question maybe at Edwin. Someone was asking, again, it's a similar thing. It's about stability. It's about keeping doors straight. You know, even how do you control bowing in a door? Even 1 millimeter is sometimes, you know, a nuisance. So, you have any tips for us, Edwin, in terms of keeping timber doors straight?
Yeah, so the primary function actually is we had issues with the red Miranti because the moisture content was high. That's all was one of the important factors what we were looking for to avoid this sort of problem. Like in the fire door, we make an internal frame, which is again thinner, but then it is more stable, and we could use finger jointing technology there. So if this sort of interior or exterior frame starts misbehaving, then your problem starts over there. And of course, then we have, if you see some of the images, we have full sheets, which are calcium silicate board, which are pretty thick. It is about 20 mm on each side. Then you have another 6 or 9 mm. So when you have this combination, then you press these doors, it becomes one homogeneous core. So this is a secret, because then you avoid delamination, and then after that you have an MDF board on both sides. So this actually becomes a solid core. It becomes such a thick core, is very difficult for it to, when we done a 3-meter door, it's difficult for it to bend.
Okay.
This is the right way to do it actually. So the
Thank you.
process is very important.
Yeah, and just thinking back to Jitendra's presentation, he talked about dry fixing of door frames. And you, Edwin, also spoke about fixing of doors in stud walls, stud walls. So I think, if you're not doing wet fixing, if you're attaching it to a door frame in a dry wall and you're attaching the door to the dry frame, that's also helping.
Yeah, because see, most of the time, we did an actual test for dry frame because one of the clients, a very important client, wanted this to be done, and I'm really glad that they did ask for this test, because more often, when you try to cut down cost and you're not sure what you're going to do, because dry walls today is good, dry glazing is good because it cut down the time for the developer. It also brings down a lot of dirt around the project. So these are important future developments, what even Jitendra was talking about.
Yeah.
And this is the way forward. But again, we have to be mindful that the right materials are being used. The door can be good, the frame can be good, but is it the surrounding structure? Is it good enough to take that door, the function of the door, and the fire rating?
Okay.
So
good
we did a test and it passed. It was very good.
Okay, great. So I'll just move on to Jitendra. Jitendra, you talked about increased door thicknesses and increased heights and widths and that front door, and at the same time reduced frame sizes. So there's some challenges there, but I think you're managing those challenges through engineering the product. Am I right?
Yes, you are really right.
Yeah. And softwoods, softwood in general can be used. You also talked about myths. I found that a really, really valid point, because, even yourself, when I think back a few years ago, there's always a false start, a couple of false starts, with anything, even with Canadian wood. The first time you use it, it's a learning process, so we learn how to handle it, how to machine it, best what thicknesses to use. And it's not always successful the first time. Sometimes we try again, and look today, you're doing fantastic work with Canadian wood, but it wasn't just a straight line, right? It was there were some challenges along the way. So I think you've found now that softwood can be used for these wonderful products, including oversized products.
Yes, but it can be used.
Yeah, and the engineering part of it, that's important.
And one more thing, doing the engineering part and doing joining, doing this finger joining also, and edge lamination and lamination of the wood, it's quite easy in softer wood. And machining part is also very good in engineered wood. And this is softwood. So that's why the usage of softwood is increasing in the frame section also and door sections also.
Yeah.
Very easy to machine.
I think there's also been some, in the past or more recently, in recent years, there have been some issues with supply in traditional species. So I think it's important for manufacturers to identify new species, and I think Canadian Wood's doing a good job there. Do you have anything to add to the question about stability and straightness in the doors? Is this a challenge you've been facing?
Yeah, straightness is a major challenge when the door height increases. So I always suggest people to go with a higher thickness door. I always suggest go with a door thickness above 45 mm. So once the thickness of the door increases, it remains stable. Other thing we do is that we see the width of the door, and then we decide, do we need to use the wood only, or do we need to use the LVL? If the door height is more, then we go with the LVL, laminated veneer lumber, which we are, even spruce wood LVL we are importing from Germany, and steam beach also we are using, and even sometimes we are also laminating yellow cedar also in 3-4 layers. So then we decide what is the height, and then we do the lamination, and we keep the edges on the top side, so it will not bend. Then we have two kind of straightener. One is a U profile, and other is a H profile. So depend upon the kind of load it has and the height it has, we decide the straightener. So it straightener keeps it the straight. So it's basically, you need to do research and use technology in this, then only you can keep it straight. So this is what we are doing.
Yeah, and I think it's it comes back to engineering. LVL, as you referred to there, laminated veneer lumber. It's an engineered product. It's a very basic glue laminated product. But as you say, you can do it in yellow cedar, you can do it in hemlock. You can make that product from different softwoods. So I think we're kind of.
Sorry, Peter, you just have time for probably one more question. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think a couple have maybe popped up while I've been talking. Let me just have a quick look. Someone's asking if the wood shrinks. Well, it can shrink slightly, but all of our wood is kiln dried and acclimatized by the manufacturers. Some of the other questions are more direct questions to individual presenters. So I think we can present those, Nirmala, in person, personally later afterwards. So anything that's not answered, we'll be sure to answer in writing. So I think we've pretty much covered the questions. It's mainly about stability and straightness and fire rating and engineering. So that's about it from me, I think.
Sure, thank you, Peter. I know we've overshot the time, but yes, the sessions were very informative. I think we all agree that today's session was extremely knowledgeable, and I would like to take this opportunity to personally thank each panel member for showcasing their range of work and the experience in working with Canadian Wood. Mr. Krishna Murthy for sharing some of your prestigious project works. Mr. Jitendra Goyal for a very descriptive session on manufacturing high quality doors. Captain Edwin Saldana for sharing detailed information on fire rated doors, and Peter definitely for an excellent moderation of the webinar. I know you all must have many questions that remain unanswered today, but what we'll try and do, as Peter indicated, we'll capture all the questions raised in the Q&A panel and document the same. These will be addressed to the panel speakers and replied back via email in a few days' time by our BDM team members. But if you still would like to know more on Canadian Wood, please do not hesitate to reach out to us by visiting the Canadian Wood website or by contacting any of our business development managers. They'll be most happy to assist you. After the webinar, you will receive a survey link from Canadian Wood sent directly to your registered email ID. Request you to kindly fill the feedback form and share with us. We look forward to seeing you again at our next webinar. And with this, thank you. We end the session today. Thank you very much all for attending. Yeah.
Thank you, Nirmala.
Thank you, Nirmala. Thank you,
Peter.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye. Have a good day.
Bye. Bye. See you. Bye.